are in the program Vida e Missão of the Methodist Church in Rio de Janeiro. Today we are talking to the Archbishop Michael Stephen from the Methodist Church in Nigeria, and he's going to talk to us about the walking of the church in this country. Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Methodist Church Nigeria is the oldest Protestant church in Nigeria. It came into the country in September 24th, 1842. So this year we are 171 years old in Nigeria. And although it's the first Christian church to arrive in Nigeria, but we are not the biggest. We have the Catholic Church is much bigger, the Anglican Church is much bigger, but we are there also in large numbers. About almost 3 million people adhere to the Methodist faith, and Methodism is very well known in Nigeria because of a number of factors. One, because of the educational services, established schools, hospitals and clinics, and even now in the last few years we have a university in southwestern part of Nigeria called the Wesley University of Science and Technology.
Nigeria has been facing serious problems involving the Christians and the Muslims. And what has been the position of the Methodist Church in this situation?
Well, the Methodist Church has been very loud and clear in making clear that we do not encourage, support any kind of violence against any faith. So, and we have been trying to work together with other Christians, with other churches, Anglican, Catholics, and so on, under the umbrella of Christian Association of Nigeria. Christian Association of Nigeria is an umbrella Christian organization that seeks to ensure good health for the Christian churches, and also to engage in conversation with other faiths, especially the Islamic faith. We never used to have conflict at all, between Christians and Muslims. But from 1986, we started having conflict over issues that were not too big at that time. But then it just persisted, and we have attacks against Christian churches, mostly by burning down Christian churches. And then it created a lot of problems and tensions. And that was the case for some time. Maybe in 1986, we will have crisis, then you have a break, and then maybe another 2 years, something happens in some parts of the northern states in Nigeria. But then it's only very recently that we started having repeated attacks against Christians. But the Christian bodies, Methodist, Anglican, Baptist, Presbyterian, under the umbrella of Christian Council of Nigeria, which is an arm, which is a branch of the Christian Association of Nigeria, we meet together to try and find a common solution to the problems of, to the crisis, confronting Nigeria, especially from the Islamic side. But largely, to start with, in the past, it used to be some fanatical group, those people, a group from within the Islamic body, fanatical, are the people actually creating a lot of problems in the past. But most recently, we have the group that is known as Boko Haram. Boko Haram means no to anything that is Western civilization. And for the Muslim population, they see Christianity as the same as Western civilization. So if you have a group that says no to Western civilization, it's a way of wanting to say we don't want to see anything about the Christian or Christian church and so on. And that is, it doesn't make sense, because even Boko Haram itself is, makes use of Western media, Western, they use things that's Western. So to say no to Western influence doesn't make sense. So it's a big challenge. And so in the last 2 years or 1.5 years, we've had bombings in churches. Even on Christmas Day, bombs are thrown into churches and people get killed in different parts. So that is a worrisome aspect. And we as Christians, what is our response? We cannot say, some people will say, look, let us return violence for violence, but that is not right. That is not Christian. So we are trying to find ways of getting the people, enlightened people, reasonable people within the Islamic sect, within the Muslim community. There are so many of them who are good, who are reasonable. We're trying to say, look, let us come together and say no to this kind of violence. And let me say also that the Boko Haram group has also attacked Muslims in their places of worship. So it is very, very difficult to say the Boko Haram is against only Christian, but they said they are against Western interests. We know as Christian leaders that our people are dying, our people are running away, fleeing from the northern parts of the country because of insecurity of lives and property. It is very unfortunate, but that is the situation that is on the ground. We believe by conversing, by talking across, to the Muslim brothers and sisters, we can get out of this crisis. And we expect as well that the leadership of the country, the president of the country, the Senate, the House of Representatives will make legislations, will take everything that it has to be able to prevent the escalation of this crisis that we have in Nigeria at the moment.
How can these conflicts be a challenge for the gospel and the mission?
It is a challenge for the gospel, because our gospel is a gospel for peace. It's a gospel that says, that preaches love. Now, how can you talk about peace and talk about love in a situation of extreme violence, when your people are frightened, when they do not know where next the next bomb would go off? But yet, we believe that within the gospel, there is, the gospel has not promised us that everything will be fine. The gospel has told us that yes, we may have challenges, we may have persecution, we may have, difficulties. What the gospel says to us is that we must have sufficient courage to know that God, in Jesus Christ, is able to stay on our side. Is able to give encouragement. Is able to give us the support. Not to give in to violence. Not to try and be like the enemy, but to be able to show the enemy that there is a better way of living. That there is a better way that we can respond to them. Now, it's difficult. If you lose your brother, you lose your sister in violence. For us to say, look, don't do anything. Now, we are saying to them, yes, protect yourself. You can protect yourself. You can be wise in what you do. But we are not going to say, go and carry weapon and shoot, at the other person. that is that. It's very hard to say, because it is easy for people to say, if somebody strikes you on the cheek, you also strike back. But if you do that, there is escalation of violence. Now, and no one knows where it will stop. Up until this time, the Christians have been very patient, and they've been very understanding. They've borne the losses, sad, but they've borne the losses. And I think it is our own approach, non-violent approach, is also doing something about, to the Muslim population. A lot of them are saying, look, this is not good. This is not wise. Let us live together. Let us condemn everyone that has acts of violence. Let's condemn them. That is what is happening. Now, and to encourage the government to protect lives and property. We are saying to the government, you have to protect lives and property. If a government cannot guarantee my own security, your own security, then there is no need for that government to be in place. The government is doing all I believe is taking some steps, but it can do much better, than it is doing at present. So I believe that for us as Christians, yes, we must be vigilant, we must be careful, but at the same time, we will not encourage Christians to go and take up arms and to begin, another level of crisis. I believe that so far the Christians have demonstrated, very good quality in terms of understanding that, look, we just must go on and show love and pursue the path of peace and talk even to the enemy if it is possible. But that is the approach of the Christian church now.